Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Caroline.
Welcome to episode 184 of Adventures and Mousecapades.
It's 183. I can't do math. Sorry.
Go!
Our guest this week is a fellow Disney podcaster. You may have heard her dulcet tones as one half of the Poor Unfortunate podcast, your go-to for some amazing Disney-themed rants and raves, showdowns, tips and tricks, and a couple of other formats from two best friends.
Caroline and Connor's rants and raves are my favorite. I am seriously in awe of just the amount of research that goes into them. And I will find myself occasionally arguing along with one point or another.
That is absolutely the goal. That's the best review you could give us.
Well, we've invited Caroline on to talk with us today because she got to go on the stunning Disney Wish cruise ship, and we wanted to hear all about her experiences. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited to talk about the Wish because it was everything that I wanted it to be and more. Spoiler.
Excellent. So can you tell us a little bit about your Disney background? Was the world of the mouse a big deal for you growing up?
Oh, absolutely. I come from a DVC family. Our home resort is the Boardwalk.
Excellent.
So just grew up going to the parks, watching the movies. It was just very much a part of my life. And that's how Connor and I connected. We met when we were in college at NYU, and someone was like, "Hey, you guys both like Disney. You should talk." And they were totally right. So yes, it's always just been such a huge part of my life. When I was a kid, we went almost every summer. I was very, very fortunate. So my family loves it just as much as me. I might have taken it to the next level, but yes, definitely come from a Disney family.
Have you been on a Disney cruise before?
Yes, but I was 9 years old last time I was on a Disney cruise.
So like 9-10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for getting that math right. Yes,
You're
that's
welcome.
right.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, we went on the Wonder when I was I think I was 9 or 10 years old. And then I think we had a great time, but we were very much parks people. And you know, while we've been doing Poor Unfortunate podcast, we'll do our little news episodes, and there was so much good news and coming from the world of Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get out of my head, and I felt like it was time to go back on a cruise. So
You made the right choice.
totally agree.
So who was in your sailing party? Who'd you go with?
It was just me and my husband. So
Nice.
He is now a Disney person just via me. I mean, he grew up, we're millennials, like we grew up with all the same movies, but I don't think he knew when we first started talking about that, he was like, yeah, oh my gosh, Lion King was my favorite movie growing up. And I'm like, yeah, it's not the same thing, but you'll learn it eventually. So he is very much in the world of like the parks now. Totally has can keep up with the family now, but had never been on a Disney cruise before. It was also, we were looking for a little trip to do. I definitely strong-armed him into doing this. I will completely own that. But it was about to be our second wedding anniversary.
Oh, nice.
And we, a couple of trips that we've been on recently, non-Disney, we did a lot of running around. Like our honeymoon was great, but we kind of like ran all around Europe, and we were looking for something that's like, we want to get on the boat and relax and just be there. So that was kind of how I convinced him to do this. And I think he really had a good time.
Yes,
perfect.
cruises are great for relaxing.
Yes, yes. Sure. Oh my gosh. I felt like I said to everybody, I felt like I got like a brain scrub in the best way. I just scrubbed away all the bad stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah.
What was the ship itinerary? How many nights was it?
So it was 4 nights.
Okay.
I wanted to do longer, but again, I was like going to ease my husband into it. It was also obviously much more in our budget as well.
Sure.
So it was, we had the embarkation day, then a day at sea. Then we stopped at Nassau in the Bahamas, then Castaway Cay, and then back to Port Canaveral.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So getting on board, You've been on the Wonder a little while ago.
Just a few years ago.
Just a few years ago. The Wonder is a different scale of ship.
Yes, I could totally. Yes, that's the first thing that I felt as soon as I
Right.
got on the boat. Yes.
So that's what I wanted to ask. Like, what were your first impressions of getting on the grandeur that is the Wish?
That was part of the reason why I chose the Wish. Because I was looking around when we wanted to go. I knew the length of time we wanted to go. And like, for me, when I looked at even the rooms, and then I like looked at, I'm big into my research, and I looked at the photos of just like the lobby, the atrium. It is grand. It's so very fairy tale. And I feel like the Wonder from the pictures I've seen now and what I remember feels more traditional cruise shippy in like that lobby area.
Yeah.
But this feels like Disney, but it just feels very bougie. I mean, it really does. Like it has an impact. It's like all of the like the blues and the golds and the whites. It's very, very, it's stunning. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I equate the Wish to like a fairy tale castle on the sea.
Yes, I heard people refer to it as that, and I totally agree. And it's like Connor and I were talking about it when I was updating him, and I was like, if you kind of took like New Fantasyland, Cinderella's castle vibes, and put them on a boat, that's the Wish. Love.
What was the very first thing that you did when you got on board?
Oh, so I did a bunch of research, and I also did something that everyone told me to do, which was join the Facebook group for my sailing.
Yep.
Which was a great move because that's where I got the advice to, as soon as you get on the boat, you can go on the deck and have some of the quick service food, but there's always going to be a sit down restaurant available. Yeah. So we made a beeline right to Arendelle was open when we got on the boat.
Nice.
We had a nice sit down lunch at Arendelle, and that's another thing that I would recommend to everybody that was so great is we signed up for this cruise pretty like maybe a month out, I would say.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe a month and a half. It was more of a last minute choice. And so we obviously had like a very much a later boarding group on embarkation day, which was fine. But we stayed at the Dolphin 2 nights before we got on the boat.
Okay.
And we decided we were going to take an Uber to the boat originally, but I was like, let's just take the Disney bus. Who doesn't? It's like, it's a throwback to the Magical Express, all the best vibes. So I was like, let's do that. And because we did that, we got picked up at the beach club. We got bumped up. This is a huge tip that I would say to everybody.
Yes.
We got bumped up to like one of the earliest boarding groups. I
Right
was
when you
so
get there.
thrilled.
Yep.
They gave me that little slip of paper and I was just like a kid at Christmas. I was so excited. So we were able to get off the bus, hand them our luggage, check in, show our passports, and pretty much get on. So yes.
That's awesome.
We went right to the restaurant and we ate, which was so amazing and like such a relaxing way to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do prefer sit down lunch first day. Yes.
Yes. It's like anything that can it can be overwhelming to get on the boat. And it's just like that makes it feel more manageable.
Right.
And I thought that was great.
I think it's also it helps start that vacation off on the right foot because you just have this moment, getting into the atrium and experiencing, especially as a first timer, all that is glorious about how just of everything that you're witnessing. And then the last thing I would want to do to ruin that moment is go to a buffet with a billion other people.
Oh my gosh. It gets so packed up there too at Cabanas or Marceline Market.
I can't even
chaotic.
imagine because I felt it was a little chaotic. Even what we were kind of operating on an opposite of everyone else's schedule as much as possible.
Yeah.
So, when we did go to Marceline Market for breakfast, we would kind of wait till the end of breakfast. And even then, it was so crowded. And it was also, I think it was good for me and my personality, which is I'm like, I got to go and do everything right now. And so it was great to sit down, like take a breath. Someone took your order. You can look at the app now. You're not fighting for space. Like it was really, really nice.
Did you, how much of a content creator brain did you bring onto the ship? And were you able to, we'll get through some of the other stuff that you did, but were you able to disconnect and actually have a vacation? I feel like all of our trips have turned into working vacations at this point, but
Type it in the OneNote.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes. That's such a funny question. It was much more content creatory than any trip I've taken thus far. Again, because it was new for me and I was very eager to capture it all. And be able to have things to bring back and share for the podcast. But it's interesting. My husband is very much like not in that world, content creator world at all. And like we're still mastering him, like, you know, taking a good photo of me. We've come a long way, but like it's not perfect. So I'm kind of running around like I'm trying to like fit it in when I can so that like he still feels like he's on vacation and I'm not working. But I get up earlier than him in the morning. So that was my time where, again, the boat is a little bit calmer in the morning. So I would run around and do my thing then. And that was the great thing is we would also be staying up later than a lot of kids. So I mean, what a great time to get content on the boat because nobody's around. I was like, you can really get a photo with nobody in the background. It's great. But it was a mix. The interesting thing was I noticed so many people. I mean, I guess content creation is just so much a part of people's lives now, even if you don't have a podcast or something, if you're not your own brand.
Wait, there's people who don't have podcasts. I don't understand.
Weird. I don't know why you would make that choice, but apparently I've heard of these people. They were on this ship apparently, but so I was surprised by how many people. I mean, I just brought my iPhone. I was like, I'm not going to bring anything else. I need a vacation.
Right.
But so many people, I don't even know those little tiny like vlogging cameras that are like handheld.
CGI, the Osmos. We have one. Yes.
Well, I definitely didn't get the memo, so I guess I need to go back with that. But so many people had those, and you know, I was thinking, you know, is it if we're at a table with other folks for dinner? I'm like, is it going to be weird for them if I'm trying to get some content? And they were totally doing the same thing. So it's just very much a part of it. Feels like the vacation for a lot of people now. But yes, because I had been talking about the cruise line for so long on the podcast, I couldn't turn that part of my brain off. So, but it's fun. It's still fun for me. God bless.
What kind of stateroom did you have, and where was it on the ship?
Yes. So we were on the 10th deck. We got a room with a veranda. We were lucky that was still available. We were willing to, we had very, very briefly been toying with the idea of going on the Treasure. And, you know, it's a longer cruise. It's obviously much more expensive. And we're like, okay, the only way we could swing the Treasure would be to do an interior stateroom. And my husband and I have famously survived those on other cruises before in our relationship. We were actually kind of okay with it. But this time we were very much like, that was a cruise where we were like, we want to get out at every port. We want to see everything. So because we wanted to relax, we were like, let's get a room with a veranda. So that was so worth it. We had a Moana room. It was done. The artwork on the ship is so amazing.
It is.
But it was just in like a great location. It was like very nearby one of the staircases. So it was literally go up the stairs and you were on the pool deck for all the drink refills. So it was amazing. It was great. Yeah.
Do you have enough storage?
I cannot say enough about the storage in these rooms. I was really blown away. Like there's so much cabinet space, the underbed space. The fact that like the bathrooms are separated, shower and then toilet in another one, game changer.
Yes. Split bathrooms are amazing.
Amazing. And like I love to unpack, even if it's for 4 nights. I like to unpack. I like to feel like I'm there and I'm settled. And there was just so much room for everything to like lay out my ears and my outfits. Like, oh man, that just like really, really, it just elevates it so much because I was kind of anticipating like, oh, we're going to have our stuff out. We're going to be squeezing, you know, everything was in its place. And I like to think that I'm pretty tidy, but we were running around a lot. Like we were trying to get a lot done. So sometimes I'd be like running back to the room, throwing an outfit on the bed and putting the new one on and leaving. And our incredible stateroom host would even like tidy up the room. So it was just always so like tidy and like, everything was in its place. It was phenomenal. Like the room, that was the number one thing that my family members who were Disney fans, that's what they wanted to see. Because some of them haven't been on a cruise and they were blown away when I sent them a video of the room. It's so spacious.
Disney is known for having like some of the largest rooms in a given category size across like the cruise industry. They're bigger. And it's interesting to hear the perspective, like we'll discount being on the Wonder as a kid because you're not paying attention.
You're not
to like,
thinking.
is there a drawer for everything? Like, that's mom and dad's problem or whoever you're with.
Exactly.
That's not what you're thinking about. But like the folks who have been more seasoned Disney cruisers, when they first got on the Wish, there was so much blowback around honestly, the lack of storage. And it's not a lack of storage. It's a different type of storage. Like everybody was used to on the first 4 ships, everything is in a drawer. And now everything has a spot for a shelf. And it's like our cheese has been moved and it's very concerning to us. Right?
Yeah. Well, especially like, coming from, if you're a DVZ person, like we will get villas when we go. So you're used to having a home to live in.
Yeah.
So we're very spoiled. But
where's my full-size dining room and my full-size kitchen?
It's my stove. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
No, we've actually hit that in hotels recently. I'm like, hotels don't have storage anymore. And I'm like, no, wait. I think I'm just I'm spoiled by DVC.
That washer dryer in the unit. Ooh,
right.
So nice.
Man, it's the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get to enjoy the veranda at all?
Yes, we really did.
Awesome.
Like we were running around a lot, but especially on the day that we were at Castaway Cay, it's earlier, back on board time, maybe like I think it was like 4:00.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're gonna sit on the veranda and we're gonna finally order some room service and eat it on the veranda. And that was one of my favorite moments of the whole thing because we sat out there as we were pulling out of Castaway Cay. It was like golden hour. That was it was great. And it's just makes such a big difference just to like be able to see out. I know you're not supposed to do this, but like sometimes crack the door, get a little breeze. Like it makes a big difference. It's so nice.
Yeah, well, you've got one up on us. I think we've done, I forget the number, 17 or 18 cruises on Disney or something like that.
So what does that make you membership-wise? Because I am just learning about the Castaway Club.
It's platinum.
The true answer to that is poor.
But rich in joy. Okay?
Exactly.
But
we've never ordered room service.
Yes.
Get out of here. You're too busy, right? I get it. I get it.
We're just going around and like if I'm hungry, I just go up to the deck and get chicken tenders.
I mean,
or something.
there's like always food available. Like it's not a necessity. Like I feel like on some cruises, you're like, it's room service or I can't eat anything right now. And it's so not that.
Yeah.
I just forget it even exists as an option.
It was on my mind every moment of every day. I was like, when am I going to get my room service?
So
you got to have priorities.
Absolutely. Food is always the priority.
Right.
This was your second. Did you have a stateroom gift? Did you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was like, did they tie it in? Like, did you make sure that you had your status?
Well, I never would have thought that would have counted. My first cruise would have counted.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is because we were only getting Disney transportation to the boat and not back off the boat, you had to call. And, millennial, like I'm like, oh man, I hate calling on the phone. But it's always so great when you call Disney. The folks who work on, for customer service are so nice. And the woman who was helping me was just making small talk and was like, oh, like, have you ever been on a cruise? And I was like, yeah, but it was so long ago. And she was like, wait. Do you remember what ship you were on? Do you remember around what year? And she found me and she was like, you're a silver member.
Nice.
So
awesome.
So there was a lanyard and a backpack in the room, which was so cool.
Yay, Disney swag.
Yes.
I mean, these days it's so hard to get a little something for free. So like that was special.
I'd say it's prepaid.
Yeah.
It's not free.
But hey, not by me this time. My mom and dad took me when I was 9, so that was free for me.
There you go. So the different levels are: after your first cruise, you are silver. Mm-hmm. After your 5th cruise, so the next one you go on the 6th cruise, you are gold.
Okay.
After your 10th cruise, you are platinum, and they recently added a new tier maybe a couple of years ago.
God.
After your 25th, you are pearl.
Yep.
I was gonna say, what do they even call that? Like God tier? Like what?
Yeah, pretty much. If you get to 50, you get your name on a plaque.
I did read about that. I saw those plaques. I saw those.
There was somebody who's like 2017, I think, like was their first cruise, and they're at 50. I'm like, oh my gosh.
My
Yeah.
gosh.
Squad goals.
What am I saying? I wish it was me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what kind of like perks are at the platinum level? So I have something to aspire to.
you get, so at the platinum level, you get a meal at Palo.
Mhm.
Yes.
Wow. That's great.
You get like earlier access to book things. I think each tier you get a little bit earlier access. More stateroom gifts.
Love that.
What else is there?
I think at Pearl you get the
You get the photo
package,
package
right?
at Pearl.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dinner at Apollo is something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, now I just needed some hard facts to share with my husband and family so that I could be like,
Well, the other thing to keep in mind when you're looking for hard facts to hard sell a Disney cruise is, technically the longer cruises are cheaper per night.
They are.
yes. This is what yes. Thank you. Thank
There's
you. I
less
just need you guys to come over real quick and like explain
Sure.
this.
Be right there.
Yes. I will say, so like the longer cruises, like the 2-week cruises,
Oh my God.
have less kids than
Right.
pretty much any. Like we've been on 2 Panama Canal cruises, which are 2-week longs, and there was maybe 100 kids on the ship.
Yeah.
And on these ships, like 100 kids will like disappear.
Yeah,
You will never
pretty
see
much.
them.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. We basically became the kids. It was pretty great.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay, we're gonna have you all on and talk about the 2-week cruise. I don't
Okay.
want to drag you on too much of a tangent here, but I need to know everything about that experience because, like, talk about like moving into the stateroom, like for real.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
We've spent I think 7 or 8 weeks of our lives on the Disney Wonder, and like a month of that was the 2 Panama Canal cruises that we've done.
Wow. The correct choice.
Yep.
The correct choice.
100%. 100%.
All right, that was our tangent number 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
For those
and
keeping
I was
score.
holding back. Okay.
All right, so there's all sorts of stuff to do on the boat. You started off at the first sea day there. What did you do? Did you explore the ship? Did you do any activities? Like, what did you guys get up to?
Yeah, we explored the ship again. Like I said, I'm the early riser, so I had watched a lot of video vlog tours, so I felt like I knew my way around pretty well.
Yeah.
But I walked around the ship a lot. I got my little coffee with my little printed, Mickey on the. That's all I really wanted. That made me so happy. But yes, we explored the ship. We went to Marceline Market breakfast that first day. Again, later. We waited kind of hoping people would clear out, but it was, it's the first day, it's the day at sea. So that was just like, everything was crowded and we knew that. And like, that's why I had debated, like I had heard, because we definitely wanted to take advantage of, the adults only deck. I had heard because it's smaller that you got to get there by a certain time to get your lounge chair. And we didn't do that. We were trying to like get that very much Disney parks energy off of this trip of like, gotta get there first. And so we didn't do that. We ended up going there later, but we had put a bunch of things on our, app itinerary, like too many things. We can never do them all. Little did we know. But so one of the things that caught our eye first was Jack's Diaper Dash.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And we were cheering at that like it was a sports game. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Jack's Diaper Dash is basically infant racing.
Yes.
It's so fun.
People making their babies earn their way onto this vacation for the rest of our entertainment.
Right.
And they did. So then after that we hung out a lot on the adult deck. I think we even actually squeezed in the Aqua Mouse like later in the day that day, because that was definitely like top of the list of something we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But we had a drawing class. We were gonna draw BB-8, and lesson learned. Yes, don't rush, but like get to things a couple of minutes early, because we got there like when the class started and it was filled. The cast member was very sweet and was trying to wave us in, but there was definitely no room for us. So we missed that, but we had done, the first night we were on the ship, we had done some 90s music trivia. We did very poorly at that. That was super fun. We saw the Victrophonics perform.
Oh, I love the Victrophonics.
My God, they're phenomenal. Phenomenal. So I was glad that we did that on the first night of like, the day at sea was more because it was a little bit more crowded with everybody being there. I was just trying to kind of like find our little pocket of like, okay, we're going to be on the adult deck and be at the pool for a while. So I'm glad we got some activities in on that first night. That was great. Yeah.
Did you ever hit bingo while you were on the ship?
No, that's the wild thing that I have been saying to people is I'm like, we had the opportunity to win whatever it was, like $10,000 or something.
Sure. Sure you did.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Right. But even like, I didn't even go get your free little charm. Like there were things, there were places I could have gone to get free things, which is very much my bag. And I didn't even do that because I was just having too much fun doing the other things that I was doing. So there's your proof.
Totally fair. Did you watch any movies or were you too busy doing everything else?
We got to see Lilo and Stitch on board.
Oh, cool.
Was it the premiere?
Yes, it was. So
the premiere at seat nice.
Yes, we had I could tell in the Facebook group and on board, everybody was constantly asking, "Are we going to get Lilo and Stitch?" And so we came back to Port Canaveral the day that Lilo and Stitch came out. So the night before, we were at the stage show, and the ship. What is his name? The ship host. The person who is like kind of like does all the announcements.
The entertainment director?
Yes.
The director, the cruise director.
Yeah.
Thank
cruise
you.
director, yes.
Our cruise director made the announcement that there would be a bunch of showings of it that night at the stage show, and everybody went, wild. So they did it. They did it at the two smaller movie theaters, and they did it at the Walt Disney Theater too. And so we saw it at the Wonderland Cinema.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And
cool.
that was so like that was my husband is very like of the Disney things that he is obsessed with. Stitch is one of those things.
Oh,
so
wow.
he was like thrilled.
Perfect.
Thrilled.
We're a Star Wars family, and we got to see the premiere of Rogue One at
Ah,
We also got
And-
to see Tangled at one of them as well.
sea. Yeah.
wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
We actually, when I was a kid, Finding Nemo had just come out, and so
nice.
we saw, which is such a great thing to see on the ship.
Yeah.
And I still have. They gave out buttons that
Yes.
said "I saw it first at sea."
Yeah.
So I have
We
like
have
my
that.
Finding Nemo.
That's cool.
We have that
I wish
for
they had
Rogue
done that
One.
for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish.
think they
I
stopped
said I was like,
doing that.
"Where are the buttons? I wanted my button."
Yeah, Rogue One was interesting because our son was 6 or 7 or something like that. I forget, maybe 5. And he instantly latched on to K2SO. And
Could you not?
Yeah, about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through the movie, all of a sudden I had a
very rough.
completely bawling kid sitting next to me in the middle of a movie theater. I was like, oh no.
Oh my God. We were also bawling at Lilo and Stitch. Kind of like we looked around and we were like, are we okay? I mean, we're both actors, so we tend to be more emotional, but everyone else was just like munching on their popcorn and having a good time, and we were just sobbing.
Hey, you're invested. You're emotionally invested in the
yes,
story.
we have to keep that alive, people.
Yes.
Seriously,
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely.
Did you get to do any of the deck parties? So like the sail away party. There's also the pirate rockin' parlay party.
Yes, we did both of those.
Nice.
We did the sail away. I needed to hear them do the horn.
Yes.
Had to. That was like the thing that was imprinted in my memory from going as a kid was the horn that I loved. So we did the deck party, and that, again, cool because we were standing up on the adults deck and had like a perfect view. It wasn't like you weren't in kind of the pit of people right
Yeah.
at the stage.
Yeah.
So we did that. I'm really glad that we did that. And we did the pirate party too. And I had heard mixed things from like the internet at large about the pirate party, but I thought it was a lot of fun.
The one on the Wish class ships is much better.
Yes.
Oh, I
in
didn't
my
know that they
opinion.
had different
Yes,
ones.
they do. They
Yeah.
do. The Wish class ships they're just a romp. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wow, everybody's such a party pooper these days. Like, that was great.
I still think even on the Wish class ships, they do like 2 deck parties on Pirate Night, and the first one is more geared towards kids, and it's like the classic like character
Oh yeah, Mickey.
jump up and down
Yes.
dance kind of party.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, that's maybe not everybody's like vibe.
Yes.
But basically the live band party, those are pretty.
That's fun.
Anytime you get live music, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. My husband and I were playing the game of like, because we both just like want to quit our day jobs. And we're like, okay, what if we went to work on the Disney cruise? And my husband plays the drums, and he was like, oh my God, there's my job. I'm going to play the drums in the pirate party.
Every time we go to Disney and we come across live entertainment, whether it's, one of the little like 5-piece jazz quartets or something like that that's on Main Street, or
Yes.
like the Disneyland marching band. Alicia and I are always like, yeah, we could retire and do this. This sounds great.
I'll play the trombone. Nathan will play the drums. We're good.
My gosh, I'm gonna look for y'all. I'll be there too. I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'm gonna be there too.
I actually once set my out of office message at work when we were going on one of these trips. I think it was one of the 2-weekers, and I said that I was going off to explore life at sea as a drummer on a cruise ship.
Yes,
You can dream.
The dream,
Yeah,
baby, the dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pirate party was super fun, and like it's funny. I was showing people videos and pictures, and my husband was looking at one of the videos I had taken at the party, and he was like, "If you'd shown me that before the cruise, I would have been like, whoa, it's a lot of people. I don't know if I want to do all that." But it does. He was like, "But it doesn't feel like that when you're on the boat." And I completely agree.
Yep.
And we almost, I wanted to see everything. I was trying to go to like the kids one as well. But we were busy. I don't even know what we were doing that day. But time got ahead of us as it did kind of the whole 4 days. But I wanted to see it all. Yeah, I just love like the live performances. Like I'm always gonna go see that. Yeah,
You made the right decision. It's okay. you didn't really miss
You
much.
have to leave more for next time too.
It's
True.
so true. I kept reminding myself that because we didn't do any of the adults, dining or anything. So I was like,
Yeah.
cool, that's for next time. Yeah.
Did you do any of the adult entertainment? And I don't mean that in the dark kind of like old school New York City kind of way. I mean
Hey,
like
the adult entertainment.
yeah, hey. I've went to New York City in the 80s. I've seen some things. Did you go to like Match Your Mate and stuff like that?
We did it. We did that 90s music trivia was adults. And I felt like there was something else we did. But we were very much one of our goals was to hit all of the bars.
Yeah.
We're very much into a cocktail. We're into a themed bar. All of that's definitely our thing. So that's like later at night what we spent a lot of time doing. So, there was like piano playing at Nightingale's, and there was something that had just finished. We went to Keg and Compass, and there was we caught the tail end of a trivia there.
Okay.
I do wish I had done more of those things. Again,
Yeah.
I was finding the balance because that's more of a me thing than my husband thing. And I was like, when we go to the parks with my family, I am like the cruise director and can kind of, I know that sometimes I'm like, I gotta loosen the grip a little bit. So I was trying to do that on this trip and be like, okay, like that trivia sounds really great. But if we're moseying or we're having a cocktail, I'm not going to make us get up and go. So it was really that trivia and seeing the Victrophonics was mostly what we did when we were there. Yeah.
Got it.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a nice thing about the longer cruises, that there's just more time to just let it breathe and exist and happen. It's
Yes.
I will say, next time, you need to make Match Your Mate a must-do.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's
I
really
can
good.
imagine.
It's the newlywed game.
Right.
thing.
And
Yeah.
I love when people do that at like a bridal shower or something. So I would have been all over that.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
yep.
Noted.
Yep.
Sorry, I was too busy watching the babies race. I don't know what my priorities are. I don't know.
All right, so you stopped off at Nassau.
Yes.
Did you get off the ship?
We had an interesting experience with Nassau because we had both been there, and I had been there when I had gone on the Wonder.
Right.
And I remember being like, I don't know. I was like, I've always been such a Disney kid that I was like, I just want to go back to the boat.
Yeah.
I just, whatever we did, I don't even fully remember what we did, but I was definitely not interested in it. And my husband had been to Nassau in the Bahamas on his family trips. And originally we were like, yeah, we're probably not going to get off. Like, let's let people get off. Then we'll have more space on the boat to do whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
And so at first we didn't. We took it super slow. We got room service breakfast that morning. We were like, we're going to mosey up to the pool. And we did. And we were at the adult pool and we were just like looking at Nassau right there.
Yeah.
We're like, I feel like we might have to get off the boat. And I was looking at the Atlantis Hotel, which is like iconic for me from the Mary-Kate and Ashley Holiday in the Sun movie. And I
Fair.
always wanted to see it. And my husband loves blackjack. And he was like, I really kind of want to get off and play. And I was like, all right, let's go. So we got off later in the day to the point where the cast members were like, you have to come. You got to be back in a couple of hours. And we were like, it's okay. We're taking a very short excursion.
Yeah.
So we got out. We grabbed a cab. We went over to Atlantis. He played some blackjack. I wandered around and pretended I was in Holiday in the Sun. And then we came back. And that was enough. It's just like, it was enough. There's just the boat is so we came back and like, we didn't really even grab food when we weren't off that long. We came back, we, got lunch. So it was just like to say we did it more.
Yeah.
I think when I had booked it, I had looked into some of the port excursions, and there was a different cruise that I had been considering that stopped in Cozumel and Jamaica. And when I was looking at that, I was like, wow, there are so many of these port adventures that I would really want to do. I would want to be getting off the boat every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the ones that I was seeing for Nassau were either like, didn't seem that interesting, or were just way too expensive.
Yeah.
I would have loved to swim with a dolphin, but it was not in the budget.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't book any port adventures, and we were kind of just like letting us make our own schedule. But I'm glad we got off. I would have felt a little bit like, I think I would have felt a little silly. So I said that I did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned blackjack, and one of Disney's kind of big claims to fame, or at least is most notable for the cruise line, is that there aren't casinos on board like there are on pretty much all the other cruise ships.
Right.
Was that something that you missed? Was it nice to not have it? Like, what was your husband's take on that?
I think he would have enjoyed it. I am very biased. I just don't think it belongs on a Disney. Not for any I can't explain why. It's not like it's casinos are bad. It's literally just me and my lack of interest in them, and I just feel like they take up a lot of like real estate on the boat. And I think of all of the things that Disney does and like what would they have had to trade out to have the casino, and that feels just so wrong to me. So I think he would have enjoyed it, but between like, I think he really enjoyed the vibes of the adult-only pool deck, and like, not that these are the same thing. It's very hard to explain, but even like Keg and Compass, it's like, he was very much following the Knicks when we were on the cruise. And so like they had the game on, you know what I mean? So there's like sort of real world, for lack of a better phrase, things to kind of scratch that itch, I feel like. I don't want that at all. I have no interest in
Well,
that
there's always
whatsoever.
bingo. You could go win $10,000 at bingo.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So Nassau got off for a little bit. What about Castaway?
Oh, yes. We got up early for that. That was like, I was very excited for that. Like that was something that I remember as a kid being like, that was awesome. And like, I think when I was a kid, like we snorkeled. I just have so many, like I never experienced anything like that when I was a kid. So I was just excited because again, Serenity Bay, I was just very, very excited for that. So we got up, we got some breakfast at Marceline, and then we went right to Serenity Bay.
Awesome.
And it was so nice. It was truly silent. It is so quiet in Serenity Bay. It was unbelievable. It's also like, what a treat to not have to fight for a lounge chair. There's just plenty of room.
Yes.
It was incredible. And I heard so many people like warning about like, bring your sunscreen. And I always do. Bring your sunscreen, bring a hat. But wow, the sun is a different sun on Castaway Key. It was so hot. It was wild.
For those of us in the northern latitudes, like it's just a whole other thing.
It's a different sun. But it was still lovely. Like the water was perfect. Like we right as we like sat down, a server came over and asked us if we wanted like a cocktail in a souvenir cup, and we were like, absolutely, yes, we do want that. So like we already had like a pina colada in hand. It was truly, that was, I think for both of us, was the highlight. Like when I said I had a brain scrub, like I was just just floating there. I was on a different plane. I don't know, like it was fantastic. And so we basically maxed out the time on Castaway Key. We didn't want to like have to really book it back, so we didn't wait till the last second. But
you don't have to book it back.
You don't have to book it
right,
back.
they're not.
They will literally just be in a little car behind you, watching you.
Ask us how we know.
Go to the ship.
Wait, how in the world do you know about this?
I may have wanted to be the very last person on the ship.
I get that, but I have anxiety. I get that. Like I very much felt like that. Like nothing gives me more joy being getting like the late Oga's reservation and being the last person to leave Hollywood Studios. It's just it's such a feeling. But yeah, I didn't do that. But now I know
you can't
it'll
do that.
be fine.
Any other port, maybe Lookout, but you cannot do that anywhere else.
No,
Right.
They will leave you there.
They will leave you.
Yeah.
Yeah, closing Oga's. Oh, that's a good memory too. We've done that. Oh.
No,
I've done that many times. It's the best.
I have a picture of me giving a peace sign with the people in the truck right behind me.
Yeah. We haven't gotten followed. I clearly need to step up my game. I haven't gotten followed. Incredible.
All right. So the shows. Did you go to any of the main stage shows?
I did. I had to. As an actor, like I'm all over that.
Of course.
I was so, again, that was the other big memory for me as a kid, just being totally blown away by the shows. I also have like so many friends I know who worked on Disney Cruise Line, and like I just knew it was going to be amazing. So I didn't catch the first one. That's more of like the medley performance. Seize the Adventure.
Yeah.
I wish I had, actually. At the time, I was like, there's too many other things to do, and I'm going to see the other shows. But then just like being reminded of the caliber, I do wish I had seen it, actually. But yes, we went to both shows. So we went to Little Mermaid and Aladdin. Mm-hmm. And I had read somewhere like, get there early. And this was like an important part of the cruise for me. So we did. And I will say Little Mermaid was first. And by the time the show started, there were people standing.
Yeah.
So I was very glad that we got there early.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that was just like a really important part of the cruise for me. And oh my gosh, I was just blown away. I cried a lot on this cruise. There's something I cried a lot. And I don't know what it is. There's something that's just like,
it's so good. Just the production value of the productions is
Yes.
amazing. And I love the changes, just the retelling of The Little Mermaid that they did on The Wish. It's so good.
The conceit that they put over it of like the storytellers I'm a sucker for that. I'm going to cry if you do that every time. If we're going to go meta about like the beauty of telling stories, I'm gone already. But I loved the adjustments for Ariel and Jasmine in these two shows.
Yeah.
They very much were like, Jasmine's the main character. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
And it was very much like centering just like them having their own voice and what did they want from their lives. And I was all over it. I love any version of these stories, but like it's so interesting. I saw The Little Mermaid when it was on Broadway, and I love The Little Mermaid, but I've always been like, I feel like I want something more from like the book of this. And I feel like there are things on the Disney Cruise Line that are very much getting at the things that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So it made me very emotional, and like they gave Jasmine a great song in Aladdin, and then I was crying. I just, man. And the genie was phenomenal. Like, man, we could not stop talking about the genie.
I'd be so interested to hear your take on the Moana show when you get on the treasure.
That was like my motivating factor for being like, I need to get on the treasure is I have the clips. I try not to look at it a lot because I will see it.
Right.
But what I've seen, I am blown away by.
Yeah.
And I want to see that.
All right.
live.
I have thoughts, but I will hold them in reserve because I don't want to influence opinions and thoughts. But get yourself in the treasure so we can have a conversation.
Well, it's homework now. It's homework. I just have to do it.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I will also say Aladdin on Disney Cruise. Aladdin's the only show I can't go see again on Disney Cruise Line. The
genie masks.
The genie masks that they put the ensemble in
are nightmare fuel.
Nightmare fuel. Oh, terrifying. so terrifying.
I'm like, this is a kid's ship. What are you doing?
So terrifying.
I'm closing in on 50 and I'm scared.
Yes, I do remember thinking that. I do remember thinking that. That's hilarious.
Okay, all right. I had to get that out of my system. Sorry.
You're safe here. We
right.
understand. Oh man.
Did you get to see the kiss goodnight in the atrium?
Yes, again, another thing that I was just like, I guess I was focused on some of these more, like less of like, hey, the trivia, the drawing class. Like there were certain just features of the ship that I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. That was another moment that made me emotional. I'm the worst. My husband is so used to it. He doesn't even blink at this point. He just like kind of like lets me be, because I was also very captivated by the princesses on this ship. They are incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was one night when I watched the Kiss Goodnight, Rapunzel was kind of just like in the middle of the floor, just surrounded by small children. Like just like they were on her.
Yeah.
And she like sat down on the floor with them and watched it. And like they were just looking at her, and it was amazing. And I was watching it from like a level above, just being emotional and being like the weird person just watching. But it was, again, that's such a special thing. I think little things like that just makes such a big difference.
Yeah. It really does. I think when we were on the treasure, Nathan actually talked to Belle just because of her interaction with the kids was something just so special.
Though? It's so special.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so special. That was when I'm like, where did the time go? I think there was a solid amount of time where I watched the princesses because they were phenomenal. And I don't really, when I'm in the parks, I don't go meet characters. I don't know. I can't do it. And on the last night when they kind of do like the farewell little performance in the lobby, I didn't know that they were going to do that. Like 15 minutes, like grab your last, photo with a character.
Yeah.
And, I had been like haunting the princesses all week. And my husband was like, we're going to go and you have to see one princess. And so we went up to Tiana and it was amazing. It was so cool. Yeah.
Well, you've got to get on the treasure also because like as an actress, as a performer, like they've brought Streetmosphere onto the ship.
Yes.
I did not know that.
They have Coriander and Sage, who are adventurers on the ship, and they have a bunch of little shows. And it is one of the most amazing things that Disney has done. I love it so much.
More of that, Disney.
Yes.
Like that's the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so well done. I don't want to spoil any of it, but
yeah, I was gonna say I have treasure questions for you guys, but again, here I go. I'm gonna drag us on a quick tangent.
let's do it.
But the thing I was wondering is, of course, like they give you the discount when you're on board if you book your next one. I didn't do it, but I really thought about it. And as soon as I got off, I was like, I'm going on another cruise. Like, what am I doing? And I think I really want to go on the treasure, but the only thing that's deterring me is that there's 2 restaurants in common with the Wish. And I'm wondering if I'm like, should I go on a ship that has 3 completely different restaurants?
Well, all the ships are like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always going to have in terms of main dining, you're always going to have your kind of classically French-ish, like it's 1923 or it's Royal Table or it's Royal Court or it's Lumiere's or it's
Tritons.
Tritons, right. I remember Tritons from The Wonder, yeah. Yep.
I would say the fair, then you're always going to have Animator's Palette on the first 4 ships, and that is effectively the Marvel one.
Right.
And from a
Something with
food
screens.
perspective, like it's, well, I mean, they're different, but it's all kind of the same.
Yep.
And then there's the showcase, like the one other one.
Yeah.
You also have to remember you only got one menu of the rotation.
Correct.
So if you go on a 7-night cruise, you're going to have another menu.
Which is just amazing to me. Like, wow. Yeah. But
And then you also have to make time for like Paulo.
Yes.
I know. Okay.
I'm going to give you a tip for the next time you do a cruise.
Yeah.
Get a placeholder. You do not have to commit to a certain date. Just get a placeholder. You have 2 years to use it.
Right.
Right.
And if you don't,
You
this
get
is
the
the
deposit back.
part, you get it back.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. which is
wow,
like,
that is so smart of them.
yes.
Brilliant.
Uh-huh.
I should have
Yeah.
done it. I have regrets. Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's funny
All right.
for us because I think we have a placeholder still floating out there that we haven't been able to use because we keep booking concierge.
Yeah.
And you can't use the placeholders on concierge.
You're going to have to talk to me about concierge too.
Oh, we can. Sure.
Sorry, everybody. This is going to be a 3-part episode.
Oh, we got to get to the food though.
Yes. Let's talk about the food.
Overall, how was the food?
I was very impressed. Yeah, there were a couple of things that I had that I'm like, this is kind of like cruise line foodie.
Yeah.
But overall, like I thought like Marceline Market was like excellent. It's for a buffet. Like, I mean, getting a churro Mickey waffle is like already put it like 20 steps ahead for me. But even again, I had heard mixed things about like specifically. The funny thing is like people have been like, oh, Worlds of Marvel. I really enjoyed the food at Worlds of Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I just really love the creativity factor of it.
Yeah.
I love fun food, and I thought the fun food was actually really tasty too. And I feel like me in some ways, even though 1923 is supposed to be the most upscale, I guess that was good. It was good. It was good, but I think overall it was so great to just always have so many options.
Yeah.
Because coming from being DVC and having like when my family and I go to the parks, we order groceries to the room. So it's like you can very much like live your life and eat when you want to eat and do all of that. And that was one thing about the cruise. I was like, okay, like I'm not going to have as much control over that. Am I going to be hungry or am I going to like, you can eat literally anytime you want. And I do have to give a shout out to the room service. Maybe it was just like the exact right moment when like we really wanted it. We did it right. But
Yeah.
I mean, like the speaking of chicken tenders, seriously, and I consider myself a bit of a chicken tender connoisseur, and these were phenomenal. And just like it's like fresh and hot, and just like, and just this dips a little bit more into like obviously the service aspect of things too. But just like even one night, I think it was Pirate Night, my husband was like, I'm between these these two entrees. Which do you think I should? And they just brought both. Like, and I had heard not great things about the Pirate Night menu, and I enjoyed that too. So
food is super subjective, though. It
absolutely,
really is.
Yeah. Yes. And I think we picked the right things from the Pirate Night menu.
We haven't done the Pirate Night menu in so long.
That's usually our Apollo night.
That's what everybody said to do. Is like when's Pirate Night? Go to the adult dining. Oh man. But yeah, no, I liked to follow if the servers had a suggestion.
Yeah.
Most of the time I would get that and like that was the right move. So
and occasionally they will go like, you don't want that. Like
yes,
there's a couple
I
things
appreciate
that they will
that so much. I really, really appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you think of Arendelle?
I loved it. Just the fact that, yes, like what from what I remember from being on the Wonder, obviously there's a very thematic, animator's palette, but just the immersive feeling of just walking down that hallway,
Yeah.
so incredible. Again, that food was like I enjoyed everything I had. Nothing on the menu at Arendelle really blew me away.
Yeah.
But that experience was so wonderful.
Yep.
Like from the fact that, again, speaking of the princesses, I'm used to, in Disney World, it's a little bit more like maybe like you can indicate like they're going to skip over you if they're a character. But Anna and Elsa and Kristoff just like popped by every table really quickly. And like it was such a treat for a couple of seconds because that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Anyway, to like talk to them, which sounds so silly, but it's true. And the funny thing is those performers who do the music in Arendelle are, I mean, all of the performers, but they were out of this world.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes.
And when they took the stage, we had been on the adult deck earlier that day, and there was a really fantastic like singer guitarist, and we were kind of like, we always want to support the fellow performer, so we were like clapping and bopping along, and we were like, oh my gosh, that's him. But we didn't know how much the musicians are supposed to be in character or not, so we were like, can we indicate, like, I don't know. So he passed by our table, and we were like, you're amazing. And he was like, I recognize you guys from the pool. Thank you for clapping for the song. And we started talking to him, and he was so kind. He brought us a little like Arundel guitar pick to take home and keep, which I totally like fangirled over. And he was like, that trio was performing music later at the Bayou. And he was like, if you guys aren't doing anything, and we were like, say less, we will be there. So we totally became their groupies, and we followed them to the Bayou and like got to like chat with them. And I don't know, just that whole experience was it was just so special. And it was extra great for us because we knew that, we were probably going to be sitting at a table with other folks. I expected that. So the first night, our first restaurant was Worlds of Marvel. And so we were at a table with 2 other couples around our age. But like, no, and we were totally open to being like, let's make some cruise friends. And I completely get why. Everyone was super nice, but nobody seemed to be like, we're going to be pals. Completely fine. But because of that, I was like, the next day was our anniversary. And I was like, and I saw empty tables. So I was like, let me just ask. Let me just go to guest services and ask. And so when I did the next day, they called and they were like, oh, the head server's busy, but he'll take care of it. And I've probably told this story, but people will hear me say this many times. But like in the real world, that means that's not going to happen. But thanks for trying. But on Disney, it means, yep, we're going to take care of it in a little while. And they did. Like I looked at the app later, our table number had changed. And so that was the first time we had our own table at Arundel, and it was our anniversary. And like the head server came over and was like, do you like this table? Is this good? Like it was just like, so it just felt it was just, we felt very, very taken care of. Arundel was really, really special.
It is definitely luck of the draw with table mates. We met our besties on a cruise at a table, and they have changed our lives. They happen to live in Florida though, so that kind of sucks. But
lucky them. They can get on anytime they want. I was thinking about like being able to get off the boat and just go home. Incredible.
Yeah,
that's nice because we were talking about like we are very much like we will make friends wherever we go. We're like we like talking to people. So it's interesting. We found. Every time we're on land on Disney property, we're making friends, and like we have so many Instagram friends, so we met in the parks. And we made them like before we got on the cruise. And we didn't. Our cruise friends were the three musicians. Again, probably because we were talking about being performers. But it's interesting. I felt like people were a little bit more hesitant to be friends, and I get it because I guess it's like. Maybe there's that feeling of, okay, we're kind of stuck on the boat with you then if we want to get rid of you.
I think it just depends.
Luck of the draw.
It's luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Not everybody is as amazing as we are. And that's
what I'm saying. We totally would have been your cruise friends.
Right. 100%.
I was waiting. I was ready too. I was ready. I even brought a couple of extra, like, I brought some extra, like, little Disney friendship bracelets. Like, I was prepared. But I didn't really have anybody to give it to. So next time.
Next time. Yes.
Next time.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a long one either, because it was it a 3-night or a 4-night that we met? 4-night. Yeah.
When you know, you know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. When we met the crew, sorry, I was thinking the wrong cruise.
Yeah.
I was thinking Caroline's cruise. No, ours, we met them. It was a week. It was a 7-nighter.
Oh, that's right. We did 2 back to back, didn't we?
Yeah. Yes. We met them on the first cruise. And then the second cruise for us was shorter. And we basically treated it as a detox cruise. But anyhow.
Okay, so that was a week long.
We got up to some stuff with our brand new friends, and that's those are in the back catalog, y'all. If you're interested.
Well, I know what I'm doing after this. Incredible. I want to go on a detox. I want to cruise after my cruise. What am I doing? If y'all have taught me anything, it's that I'm doing this all wrong, like in every possible way.
We're just trying to set goals for other
Thank
people.
you.
That's-
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Somebody has to blaze trails and
Yeah.
make sure it's safe for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So you mentioned, hanging out occasionally as we continue on this theme at some of the bars and lounges.
Yeah.
What did you think of? So you talked about the Bayou. Love that there's live music there. Nightingales has the piano
bar.
playing. Keg and Compass. Haven't heard you talk about hyperspace.
Oh, don't worry. We went there. Don't worry. There was I grew up on Star Wars. My husband's a huge Star Wars fan. There was literally no way that was not going to happen. And that was awesome because we did that. We actually did that on Pirate Night. So we went to the parlay party and we, partied on the deck for a while.
Yeah.
And then, it's open so late, which I appreciate. We're night owls. So it was like, we live in New York City. So it's like we're used to being out late. Like, so I was so happy to see that was available.
Yeah.
So, obviously I went and had to take off my pirate gear and put on something very Star Warsy.
Yes.
Of course.
And we went to hyperspace at like maybe like 11:30, 11.
Sure.
And we were like one of 3 tables there. And like, I was so impressed. Like,
Yeah.
and I am such a big Oga's fan
Yeah.
that I was like, is this kind of going to be just like a less good Oga's? And it's just not. It's a different
It's
thing.
different.
Like, with
It's very
like,
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with like the iPad with the information about all of the planets. Like
Yeah.
the drinks that we had were phenomenal. The drinks
Yeah.
at really every bar lounge were like 10
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah.
Seriously. I was very, very impressed by the cocktails. That was like, the food was great, but the cocktails were really another level for me.
Yeah.
So we loved hyperspace. But we were like, again, we didn't get into any like capers like it sounded like you all did, but like we were drinking consistently throughout the cruise.
You
So,
have to
like,
stay hydrated. It's very important. You're
not
in the
driving
sun all
anywhere.
that. Right. You're not
Exactly.
driving. You're in the sun in the Caribbean. Like, stay
Come on.
hydrated. It's just for your safety.
I think my veins had like pina colada in them. I actually don't ever want to have another pina colada for the rest of my life. But yeah, so I didn't we kind of went to each bar and had a cocktail, but I wish I could have tried the whole menu at Hyperspace Lounge.
Yeah.
It was mine was phenomenal. My husband's was phenomenal. And again, just the care, we were talking to the bartender there too and talking about how which bars they rotate to, and there's just they're people who just love what they do and you
Yeah.
can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have one bar that you gravitated more towards than the others?
I think Hyperspace was our favorite, but the Bayou is so accessible because it's
Yes.
just
Yeah.
right out in the middle, so you
That's
can kind
true.
of just slide in there anytime,
Yeah.
and we did do that. But my when I was enticing my husband to go on the cruise, I was telling him about the bars, and I was he's a big beer connoisseur, and so I was
Yeah.
telling him about Keg and Compass. So I think that was his favorite because they have this very specific Belgian beer that he can't find anywhere, and he got to have it there, and so he
Got
was
it.
thrilled about that. But I really did very much enjoyed the vibe of Keg and Compass. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it just they're just these bars. Just you don't feel like you're on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
It feels like a bar. It's great. Yeah.
Did you visit the kids clubs at all during their open houses?
No, that was something that again meant to do because I really wanted to see. I know that there's Star Wars and there's Tangled, some of my favorite things, and I do wish I'd done that. But again, next time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next time.
What about Joyful Sweets, the Inside Out shop?
Yep, we went there. We did a lot. You're making me feel a little bit better. I'm like, we did. Yes, my husband got ice cream there. I didn't because I found out that they had one of the soft serve flavors of the day
Yeah.
on the deck for free was banana soft serve, which is one of my favorite things. And so I was over there getting some of that, and he got his from Joyful Sweets, and we just we
That
had our
sounds-
ice cream. But again, I just loved I just wanted to see it because
Yeah.
I love the theming. It's
Yeah.
so great. Yeah.
They've done so well.
Yes.
All right.
They
Is
have.
there anything else big picture that you'd love to we haven't talked about yet?
That's a good question. I definitely knew that I wanted to tell you about Arendelle and how like getting the guitar pick because it was such a magical moment and crying at the shows.
No, I love Arendelle so much. I love the musicians there. The music there is just so good. Yes.
They're incredible.
The Coco is pretty great too. Just
Again, that was one of the driving factors for me of wanting to go on the Treasure is I want to go to the Coco dinner show.
yeah. Disclaimer: we are not travel agents. Like, I'm not getting paid to try to sell people on DVC and cruises here, but it just happens all the time. Right?
Maybe you should be.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on everything. I'm trying to think of like the special like moments that stood out. I mean, on Pirate Night, we had a long night on Pirate Night because by the time we did the party, we went to Hyperspace Lounge, and then we were heading back to the room, and Pirates of the Caribbean had like just started on the Funnel Vision, and it was just like the adults left like in their like half off like pirate outfits holding their cocktails like in the lounge chairs, and we did that, and that was one of my favorite parts of the cruise too. Some people were asleep just like on the open ocean with your like drink and watching Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, so great, so great.
All right. Well, we've had a lovely conversation so far. Now it's time for Alicia's patented Disney torture test. But you're a professional, but still, good luck. Seriously, you're going to need it.
Okay.
Again, it is not patented and it is not torture. It's just your Disney favorites from the anything under Mickey's umbrella. So Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel, whatever. Your favorite character.
Come on, man. Oh my God.
This is the torture part.
We do this to people too. So I like have my parameters of like, what are the parameters that I think about this around? I'm like, which Disney character could I never lose?
Yeah.
This hurts. Belle.
Okay.
It changes literally every day. So it's fine. I can't be tortured. You cannot torture me.
This is a point in time
today's
snapshot.
Answer. Right.
Yes. 100%.
Favorite Disney movie.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, wow.
It's one of those that every time I rewatch it, it hits the same way. But that's like my story with Disney always is I think I'm going to like outgrow things or it's going to thrill me less. And that just never, ever happens. But yeah, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Today.
All right. Favorite ride.
Does it still need to be in operation?
Nah.
No.
The Great Movie Ride.
Oh.
Great Movie Ride. I really enjoy Runaway Railway.
Yeah.
But I loved the Great Movie Ride. I loved it. I think about it all the time when I'm in there and I miss it. Yeah, the Great Movie Ride.
All right. Now, one that is currently in operation. What is your favorite?
Rise of the Resistance. Yeah, it's such a thrill.
Yeah.
Another one of those that I thought after the first time, once like I didn't have the novelty factor anymore, it wouldn't be as exciting, and it just is every time. I am very sad when Kylo's not working. That always is very disappointing.
Yeah.
But it's still great even when that happens. I love that.
And every time Poe says to us, we're a fine looking bunch of recruits.
I'm like, me?
Hello.
Ooh, me? Absolutely.
Yeah. Disney World or Disneyland?
World. I have to. But there is a very special charm to Disneyland that you can't replicate. And I'm a huge fan of California Adventure.
Yeah.
It's like people can criticize the lack of cohesion, which I get. But I just always have such a good time there. And I have not had a chance to get there and see Adventures Campus yet. And I really, really want to see that. So yeah, they're different, but World is like the DVC. It's home. It's home. Yeah. It feels like home to me.
We were talking a couple 2 or 3 weeks ago about various parks, and California Adventure came up, and Alicia had the perfect take on it because we were like, should it be renamed? Like, it's not really California anymore, but it's more like it's Disney's Adventures in California. Like, it just like California is just the location where it is, but it's kind of more Disney's adventure
move
park.
Move the words around. Disney's Adventures in California. I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it opened and it was California.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I'm on board.
Yeah.
Disney's Adventures in California. Absolutely.
There you have it.
Absolutely.
Out of all the individual parks that you have been to, which one is your favorite?
Oof. No, this one I don't like. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like this one. Epcot.
Mm,
Epcot and Walt Disney World.
that is my favorite too.
But it's special.
Mhm.
There's nothing else like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one too. And that's also just, there's a very much like being a boardwalk DVC family, like
Yeah.
being right off the World Showcase. Like that was
Mhm.
like, I'm in my happy place
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite hotel or resort?
I mean, the boardwalk. It's still the boardwalk.
Alright.
My dream is to stay in the Polynesian. I have never stayed there.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's I find myself there every time I am in Disney World.
Yeah.
And like, next time I'm going to stay here. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And it also feels it just feels so Walt Disney to me.
Mm.
And that's part of
Yes.
why I love it.
Yep.
It has the Disney vibe in every
Mhm.
way for me. But the boardwalk, again, it's homey to me, but you cannot beat the location.
Mm.
Yep.
Being able to just like walk right over to the World Showcase. I will say I have a lot of opinions about the state of the boardwalk currently.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Yeah.
almost didn't give it to it, because I'm like, it's kind of a mess right now.
Yeah.
So that does take it, but where I do love the aesthetic of the boardwalk. I love the location.
Yeah.
But I'm like the biggest fan of the Polynesian for
Yeah.
sure. Yes.
We haven't stayed there yet. We did. When was it? Late last year, we
We
were
got
visiting some friends. We
top
went to
points.
the Well, we went to the DVC Preview Center because they had the new rooms at the tower.
Yes.
Just like mocked up, and we were like, oh, we're interested to see that, and then walked out with a contract.
As that story usually goes.
Yes.
I remember when my parents signed up for DVC and being stuck in like the kids club for like 3 hours. And then it came back and we're like, well, we're going to Disney World every year. Get excited.
Yay.
Favorite Disney restaurant?
It's so strange. I feel like I should have these answers like on the back of my hand, but I don't. I really don't. It used to be Ohana.
Mm.
Okay.
I feel like Ohana has changed a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah.
I went to California Grill for the first time on my last Walt Disney World trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that it was like the expectations were going to be a bit overblown, but it
Yeah.
was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We had a really, really great meal there.
Yeah.
I'm going to make my final answer Boma
Okay.
for the uniqueness factor. Yeah, it's just something that is just like, you can't really get that food on a
Yeah.
regular basis. It
Mhm,
feels
mhm.
special.
Yeah.
And I love being in the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ugh, I really feel like I'm going to like hang up with you guys later and be like, what were you thinking? And I'm going to panic and be like, wait,
There's lots of good answers. I mean, you've also got Jico over at Animal Kingdom.
I've still
Which
never
is-
been there. And that
Oh,
is,
you-
again, every
need to
time
go.
I'm in Disney, I'm like, this time I'm going to go to Jico. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Topolino's Terrace over at Riviera.
I have never been able to get a reservation for that. Ever. And I log on, like when we have a big trip plan, like I log on in the period at 6 a.m. I'm there and I can never get it.
Okay, so this is a tip for you, Caroline, but I'll
Yeah.
share it with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not a paid endorsement. Why do I endorse everything? Mouse Dining. They have a paid plan. They have a free plan as well.
Yeah.
But you go in and say, hey, I'm looking for like these date ranges for like this restaurant at this time window for X number of people. And their system is plugged into the back end reservation system at Disney somehow. It's a third party thing. But when somebody does a cancellation and something opens up, you will get a message. And if you pay, they will send you a text message. So it's kind of like, I don't know how instant it is, but near real time, we'll call it. And so they give you a link to like go hop onto Disney's site right then and just sign up. So
We have taken advantage of that. Yes.
yeah. If
Is
you're
that
missing
how you've
some-
gotten Topolino's before?
No.
You've got, okay.
We're just
yeah.
cool. Like
You're
that,
just
I guess.
fast and cool, I
I'll
guess.
check in every once in a
Man.
while. Yeah, I just check in every once in a while and was able to get it. Yeah.
What has it gotten you? Like, what has Mouse Dining gotten you? What kind of reservations? Where'd you go?
We definitely have done Topolino's on a Mouse Dining catch. I think we got Ohana once for breakfast, like in a peak season.
Yeah.
On a cancellation that way. It's kind of like it'll work on any Disney domestic property. It'll like in Florida or California, you can get in.
Yep.
What am I going to do first when I get off of the? I mean, am I going to go to Disney World or am I going to go on the Treasure? I don't really know. It's anybody's guess.
Well, I mean, why do you need to choose, Caroline? You do both.
Thank you. You know what? You guys are my virtual cruise friends now. Like, I need more of this energy in my life. I don't know why everybody's trying to slow me down.
You can always do a couple of days at the parks and then relax on the cruise.
Right.
Don't do it the other way around because then you like erase all of that like relaxation energy you just got on the cruise.
We were talking about that. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that we did realize is, geez, these tangents, I'm so sorry, is like padding, like we were like, oh my gosh, we did get our flight home the day we got off the boat, but we did go back to Disney World Resort property and do stuff before. We had a really late flight.
Yeah.
We were like, we could never go right to the airport after the cruise because we would be so sad. So sad. So like having some sort of like transition back into the real world was very, very helpful for us. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Last one. Favorite Disney snack?
Citrus swirl. From the Sunshine Tree Terrace.
Yum.
Wow.
I do love Dole Whip too. But I'm very much a citrus swirl girl. If we are counting drinks as snacks, which sometimes I do. It's a Grand Marnier orange slush from the France Pavilion all day, every day.
That's
like
delightful.
Yeah. Being like when I go, I'm like, I very much try to like not hit the same thing. So I, get to everything, add variety, but that is something I will have every single time.
Yeah.
Is the slush. That is my favorite thing.
Nathan's is the limoncello margarita in Italy.
Ooh, that is delicious. I have had that as well. Oh, so good.
It's a limoncello slushy. Like, come on. It's
good. So good.
Yeah, we went drinking around the world with all of our friends several years ago and lost about 3 hours in Italy. We parked ourselves like on the steps there in that monument, and they had the limoncello margaritas at that drink cart next to it.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's just like, we were literally there for 3 hours.
See, I have two things to say. So this is going to be the world's longest episode. I'm sorry. Number one, have you been to Tutto Gusto, the wine bar there?
No.
I don't like wine.
No, I'm not the biggest wine drinker. I get a cocktail when I go there.
Okay.
The espresso martini is amazing if that's your thing. But it's just like we go there and get cocktails like or an Aperol spritz and like a cheese board. Great. Which is always my favorite thing. I love a cheese board. But I have never fully drunk my way really around the world. I went to Epcot and Disney for my bachelorette. And I was like in fine shape, but I was drinking consistently through the day and then went on Guardians of the Galaxy and then went to Magic Kingdom for the fireworks and needed something to eat. And got the corn dog nuggets from Casey's Corner. And I was sorry about all of those choices. It did not end well for me at all. It was bad. So that's my least favorite Disney snack is the corn dog nuggets at Casey's Corner.
Yeah. They used to be okay, but not so much anymore.
Never, ever again. Nope.
Well, Caroline, you survived. Yay. Congratulations.
That did hurt. And I'm gonna be like playing this over in my mind later and be really ashamed of what I chose. Like I'm already like, wow, should I have said Ursula because of my podcast? But those were today's answers.
Okay.
Those were today's answers.
That's fair.
So what is next?
That's a great question. My next goal of like bucket list Disney things, I mean, this one isn't realistic for me right now, is Tokyo Disney. I know that that's going to take a while, so it's not that. So the near future thing is the Treasure. But I've been dying, and I think I already missed it. I really want to do Oogie Boogie Bash in Disneyland.
Yeah.
That is like the thing. Just like the cruise before I did it was just like grabbing my attention all the time. I very, very much want to do that. Like I want to walk through what is it, Villains Hollow?
Villains Grove.
Oh,
it's so good. Yeah.
I want to do that. I did Not So Scary Halloween Party a while ago, maybe like 10 years ago, and it was all right. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, I think maybe the parties aren't my thing, but everything I see about Oogie Boogie Bash, I think I would love. So that's like the most near future thing. And obviously just getting to Avengers Campus because I haven't done that. So I think a Disneyland trip is very much needed. I hope my husband is listening.
Hint, hint, nudge,
very
nudge.
Needed.
I'm just actually checking to see if tickets are...
When they went on. Yeah.
It's like now, right?
It's
I think I missed it.
I don't know when it is. Well, no.
Disneyland's weird. They don't do tickets until they're much later than Florida's tickets.
And the Magic Key has to go first. And Nathan, you still have a Magic Key, right?
Don't remind. Let's not talk about that.
But you would have.
I do.
But you would have gotten an email about when the Magic Key ones are.
I have not gotten an email.
Okay. So they may not have gone on sale yet to the general public. Sterling and I went last year for the first time.
I was about to listen to your episode about that, but I just wanted you to tell me, like, how much of a priority should I make this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
10 days.
10 days.
Let's see. Inspire Magic Key holders get tickets, or you can start getting tickets on June 24th. All Magic Key holders are on June 25th. And tickets for general public go on sale June 26th at 9 a.m. Pacific.
We are foregoing this year just because we have so many other things planned.
We have like 4 cruises.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
I would take Oogie Boogie over Not So Scary in a heartbeat.
That's what it seems. It seems like they're not even in the same league.
So amazing. Yeah, I loved it so much. And Villains Grove, I did cry. It's
then
so
I would
gorgeous.
definitely cry. I would say, like,
it's so gorgeous.
Oh my God. Well, my co-host Connor has also never been to Disneyland, so that's why it's top of priority as well. So I'm like, let's go and do the Oogie Boogie Bash, as part of it.
Speaking of, you co-host a podcast. Plug your thing. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. So we are Poor Unfortunate Podcast. Our current tagline on our Instagram is a la Chapel Roan, your favorite Disney podcast. Just as a nod to we get niche. But we're kind of a millennial take, a comedic sometimes take on all things Disney. My co-host Connor and I met when we were acting students at NYU, connected over our love of Disney. Yeah. And we were roommates for a while, and being actors is such an unpredictable, being performers and creative people is such an unpredictable life. Yeah. And we spent so much time in our living room talking about Disney that we were like, maybe someone else wants to listen in. And it was just, the kind of thing just to have a project. That's how it started out for us, is just like we ended up launching it. It had been in the works for a while, but we launched it right when the pandemic happened. So it ended up being a blessing in disguise because a lot of people were listening to podcasts and we had time to really get it off the ground. But we definitely used this to flex our, there was a class that everybody at NYU has to take your freshman year called Writing the Essay. That is very much like taking art and connecting it and making a whole thing about it. And we very much are writing the essay all of the time with this podcast, because we do pride ourselves on research, and we're both big nerds. We like doing it. So we originally, I'm so glad that you like the rants and raves.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Originally, that was going to be the only thing that we did. Every episode was going to be a rant or rave about something. We felt like we needed more variety. So so we have, as you mentioned earlier, we have our 4 rotating formats. So the rant and rave. So someone will talk about how something is amazing and how something maybe is not so amazing in Disney, spanning movies, parks, all of it. We cover it all. And then we do our showdowns, which could be pitting 2 episodes of TV shows against each other. Something that we get a lot of good feedback about is our princess showdowns. Those get very, very heated between the 2 of us.
You just had a tie.
We had a tie, which we don't like to do. But our previous princess showdowns have ended in some real feelings from both of us that I think it was time for us to have a tie. And then we do our tips and tricks, which is like could be a wide variety of things. So yes, we do have one coming out. If you want to hear me say a lot of the same things, but go there. We talked about a lot of different things on here as well about the wish.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, and then we do our wild card, which is like again a wild card, but we do interviews. We have some really cool guests coming up that we're really excited about. So yeah, that's Poor Unfortunate Podcast. We funny story. I don't know if we've ever even told this on our own podcast, so I'll tell it here.
Oh,
We were
breaking news.
originally breaking news. This is the BTS. We were like listing the Disney movies that we loved the most, and at the top of the list for both of us is Hercules.
Mhm.
And so we were like, we're gonna be the gospel truth. And so like we made all of our socials, and then we saw the other accounts that started following us that were very like Bible based, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the podcast. Like, you know, we
Right.
curse on our podcast. Like
Right.
so we were like, oh, that's not gonna work. So Poor Unfortunate Podcast was the fit. It's very like it feels right for us because it's like we do like to put a little bit of a twist on things. We like, just like you guys do, like we like to look at things with a realistic eye, a critical eye when it's necessary.
Yeah.
So we felt like that reflected it. And like, you know, with Little Mermaid being like the heart of the Disney Renaissance and what we grew up on, that felt like the right thing for us. So that's where that came from.
I love it.
No
I
more
love it.
gospel truth.
Well, yeah, the research and thought that you put into, you know, all the character analysis or whatever that you're talking about in the topic, I eat all that stuff up. Like it's so
That
well
means
done.
a lot coming from other Disney fans. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
who else is listening to it, I guess? But like, you guys are like the real deal. Like,
No, but like it makes you, and I appreciate because you're coming at a lot of these, especially from an informed performing background, like you've been steeped in that education, at NYU and all the rest of that stuff. So like you're doing in-depth character studies, you're looking at motivations, you're looking at all the rest of this. It's fascinating because I'm a performer, but I'm a musician. And so like I will talk about, you know, the musical conversation that we're trying to have on stage, and that's so important to listen to each other, and that you're not just a bunch of people here playing your own part and then hoping all lines up. Like, no, that's that's not what it's about. But you guys apply that kind of philosophy and deep thought and thinking and intention around what's going on with the characters or what's going on with it. Like, it's so well done. I really appreciate it. So thank you.
that's so nice. I actually didn't really even realize that we do that, but now I kind of understand why we fight sometimes, because sometimes we will have a moment where we're like, I think I'm taking this like just a smidge too seriously. Like, this is still a fictional character. It's okay.
It's still a cartoon, right?
It's a cartoon, right? Sometimes it really doesn't feel like that. That's so nice. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot coming from both of you.
Aw, shucks. Well, thanks again for coming on. It was such a great pleasure to get to speak with you.
Yes.
And we'll be listening for you. And I think we figured out we're going to drop your episode where you're talking about the Wish, and this one will come out I think like same day. So it's Wish Week on the podcast
Week.
universe.
Yes.
The Wish Week crossover that you always wanted, but
That's
didn't know
right.
that you wanted.
Didn't know that we were doing until we got on to record. Awesome. Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thank you so much. This was the best.
Remember, we are not affiliated with Disney or their subsidiaries. These are personal opinions and suggestions based on our own experiences. We recommend working with a travel agent or contacting Disney directly to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have questions or suggestions, or would like to be interviewed on our show to share your Disney experiences, please send an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
Follow us on socials. We are at Our Mousecapades. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube.
Please do give us a rating and a review in your podcast app. It really helps people find us.
And of course, don't hesitate to share us with your friends and fellow Disney lovers of all ages.
Thanks for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.